Game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Momo currently up 1-0 against Shelty for the Pandora's Box tournament of whatever you want to call it. It's just a name, guys. It doesn't have any real connotations to it. Game's underway. Spawning in the bottom of the map in the red color, playing as Zeus. His name is Momo. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Odin. His name is Shelty. The map you ask? Well, the map is Sheltered Pass. It might look familiar to some. It might look unfamiliar to others. But it is effectively Jotunheim to some extent. You can actually see the middle of this map here has gotten itself a little bit of a funkiness to it, as that's kind of the way that the map is all sorted out. But both players starting with a very low amount of starting hunt here. This is the 3 gazelle starting hunt here. It's actually something that is possible to have on like watering holes, so players should be relatively used to this kind of a thing here. So we'll see how the game's going to go. Zeus versus an Odin is actually a really, really popular matchup at the top level. I think it's one of the more played matchups out of all of them on the ladder. Same with like Zeus versus Uranus and a couple of those other gods. So we'll see how things are going to go. Lately, Odin has been getting the kind of upper hand against a lot of Zeus players because Odin gets going just that little bit faster than the Zeus players due to like Great Hunt and all these other things. But in this game, on this map here, Shelty deciding not to drop his Great Hunt on this location and opting for something a little bit more value. You've got 150, 300, 450 food here. So that's shorting yourself effectively 250 food from a god power. So Shelty deciding, now I'm going to use it over here instead, move over onto that location a little bit later. That's going to be fine there for him. He might figure out a way to make this build work where he can send some villagers over to the gazelle over here and leave some villagers over here on this wood line, something like that. In the future, as the Katoskopot's going to be scouting around, seeing exactly what's happening in the middle of the map, and we'll see how it's all going to go. Look, here's the thing. Both players can take advantage of this middle of the map with walls and everything, but they can also simply just, well, one, Shelty can simply just walk forward, drop a forward temple down and be completely fine. And two, you can easily send villagers forward, run straight past here and build on the other side of the map as well. So you don't have to play into it at all, as it were. As Shelty now pulling back, he sees what's going on there. He wants to run back into his base, drop his temple there, realizing that needs to be relatively safe. But here's the thing. All the food here for Shelty, very, very forward here in this game on this map. Very forward. So too is it forward for Momo, though, that means. So that means that we're going to be seeing a lot of counter raids, a lot of trying to be defensive. It's a decent amount of hurtables here for Shelty. He's got himself 6 hurtables. We've got ourselves 5 hurtables for Momo at the time being. As the Katoskopos is scouting around the map, trying to figure out where the enemy villages are so we can put some pressure onto that nice and early. Will we be seeing an early Jason here is the big question. Answer, no. Thank you for the tier 1 there, X-Solo. Appreciate you, my friend. As Momo decides to go through Athena here, going for the Athena rush. No Hermes. He's got 1 villager on the favor here, potentially looking to grab himself an extra Minotaur with this early game push, as the Katoskopos does scout out this location. Still no advance time here for Shelty, which is a little bit scary here for Shelty. So we'll see how it's going to go. He should be trying to get himself out some Herso here to defend, but he is very, very far behind on that advance time. The question is going to be, will Momo try and build forward, or is he going to just build in his base and go for a later push here in this game, as the walls coming up here for Momo, as houses coming down as well. We'll see how things are going to go as the Ravens searching around this map, looking for everything they can possibly find here. Athena does pop. Where are the buildings going up is the big question here for Momo. He gets himself the Jason. He gets himself the Odysseus. Looks like he doesn't actually have the resources to get himself the barracks up, but he will be able to throw himself a Minotaur here, as there's the military academy coming down. An early Minotaur here, or Olympic parentage is a really, really good idea in these games. And I love these military academy archery range on top of this rhino over here, because that's exactly where Momo's going to want to be moving his villagers to later in this game. As the Katoska boss coming through onto this position here, we got the one Ulsark over here and Herser throwing up these longhouses as fast as they can. But military academy already up, so going to be a slight advantage there. Bolt onto the Valkyrie immediately after a little bit of damage has been done. The Herser needs to get over here to try and defend this one as fast as he possibly can as he's moving over there to deal with that. It's the Jason now on the way. The Odysseus also coming through. We've got double raiding cavalry getting produced right now for Shelty. He hasn't yet started that third military building. There it goes down. Longhouse is coming through. Oftentimes in these situations, you just simply have to retreat off of the hunt. If you're this late here with Shelty, got a lot of resources in the bank. He's going to need to be spending. Good micro here from Momo as another Herser coming through to try and take out the Minotaur. We do see the Odysseus coming in as well as a hoplite here to try and take that down. The other Herser getting picked off over on that other location there as Shelty is doing his best to try and win on this location to help himself save himself on that food here instead of just pulling back into his main base. This may be a mistake, but he does have the advantage here in terms of defender's advantage. He will be building units straight onto this location as we do see a restoration getting dropped here as the Minotaur still running around the map. We do see the villagers here going to be retreating away from this location. Will they get away? Will they get spotted or not is the big question here, as Shelty is going to pull them potentially all the way up into this corner. Wouldn't be a bad idea as the raiding cavalry swinging around here. The real question is, did Shelty pull them home before or after, and will Momo be recognizing this or not? Watchtowers now coming through for Shelty as his villagers searching around the map, hopefully trying to find some hunt here, but there is no hunt as now the raiding cavalry saying, all right, time to leave the base, about to get myself watchtowers here. Unfortunately, both longhouses here not really in range as the villagers going to move over onto this palm tree. The villagers on the wood in the main base for Shelty can jump onto these goats over here, and we can start seeing some sort of forest fire on the one tree yet again by Shelty. Is it a good move or not? I do not know, as one raiding cavalry goes down, one villager goes down. Potentially the granary will go down as well. Decent trade there. He's going to be getting that wood win as the raiding cavalry coming through here to take down these units. Momo not paying attention on this location over here, about to lose a lot of population while fighting underneath the town center here. Absolutely huge. You see the town center able to help take out the Jason. This is a big, big misstep here from Momo as the raiding cavalry now moving into the main base of Momo, where we do see the ravens in here. It looks like Shelty doesn't exactly know where to raid. He should know that there's the villagers over here with those ravens, but he also knows there's villagers potentially over on that other location here, as Momo's now sitting on this spot here, helping defend his villagers that are eating those giraffe in the middle here. These villagers could potentially move back over onto these zebra here if he so chooses at this point. There's also the rhino over here that Shelty might want to try and get to, as the villagers do manage to jump back into the tower. Looks like all the villagers do stay safe here in this game as the raiding cavalry still moving back and forth. Looks like one does get picked off. Nice target fire there from Momo. If he meant it or not, I do not know, but one raiding cavalry does go down. Another raiding cavalry over here getting picked off as Shelty moving around the map trying to figure out what to do. Another longhouse is now up as the throwing axeman coming through. Population differential very, very close here. Shelty's got one idea and one idea alone here in this game, and it's going to be, can he get to full population to try and be okay in this game, as the Minotaur manages to get another kill there onto a raiding cavalry, as he's going to be pulling back over here. We do see the raiding cavalry now moving over onto this location. Will Shelty notice this or not? He does spot the villagers. We'll be able to start hitting those here. There is a Toxote and a hoplite on this position here as the villagers do turn around and start shanking. Shelty's going to say, no worries. You shank, I run. All good. A little bit of distraction action there. As now more raiding cavalry coming through. We see some more houses getting thrown up here for Shelties. He's desperately trying to get his units out. Still villagers in the main base here, eating those goats. I would love to see maybe the villagers moving back over at least onto these berry bushes or something to be nice and safe there, as Momo's got all of his units in the middle of the map. 85 population for Momo here. He might be looking to try and get to the heroic age on the back of this. Let's check out his military buildings. No, he's still producing units. He's going full population here. Archery range coming down as well to try and spend all the resources here as the raiding cavalry retreating back the villagers onto this gold mine now. I like that play. Very, very sneaky. As the villagers in the main base now jumping over onto the wood line here. Gatherers are not as good as dwarves on gold, yes, but Norse gatherers gather at the same rate as Greek villagers do on gold. Little known fact, but that's true. That's how good dwarves are. So there is that, as now Shelty in the middle of the map here, getting himself medium infantry, going to be absolutely huge. Some hoplites coming through, going to be walking to their death, trying to figure out exactly what they should do. Medium infantry also coming through for Momo here, as Momo is going to be making a slight retreat here as the raiding cavalry looking to come around on the back at this location here. As we do see the units pushing in with the villagers over here going to start coming through onto this position here. As one villager going to be getting taken out. We do see the Minotaur coming in over here as well. Really no Hersa on this position as the Minotaur does get sniped down there. Raiding cavalry able to sneak around onto the Toxotes here as the throwing axemen going to be completely melting those frontline hoplites as the Toxotes trying to retreat back here. But this is such a good fight for Shelty as he manages to push through here and clean up the majority of these units. Momo's trying to micro this one, is the best of his ability, trying to snipe down those throwing axemen with his Toxotes, but it looks like the majority of these units falling as Shelty now 107 population to 65 population of Momo, as Shelty going to be pushing through here. He's going to be able to push right onto that gold mine. All the gold mines are full. We've still got 757 gold left in the main base. The villagers over here getting pushed off, going to lose a handful of those as Shelty trying to move in front of these villagers and prevent any sort of retreat path here, trying to get as many kills as he possibly can. Two do go down. We see the hoplites coming back over here trying to defend 75 population. Will not be enough here, but Shelty doesn't want to engage a fight here with the raiding cavalry in front for the most part. Definitely wants to get some raiding cavalry around onto the Toxotes at the very least, as we see some villagers now moving over onto the berry bushes over there. The rhinos getting picked off on this, finished off on this location. They're finally starting to move, but the throwing axeman going after them there as another Minotaur starting to come through here for Momo. And we see, look at this. Now Shelty takes that advantage. He goes, all right, I see you. I've got the advantage now. I'm going to grab my food, going to have a ton of hunt. Doesn't need to start farming in the slightest here. And he's going to be on that hunt for quite some time as the Minotaur starting to take down some throwing axemen here, as Shelty is doing a really good job of simply ignoring the Minotaur. This is something they teach in Age of Mythology 101 for the Norse class, is that when your opponent is a Minotaur and you don't have any Hersa, just ignore the Minotaur and kill all the human units, because that's what you got to do. As the villagers pulling back here, Shelty with a huge advantage now in this game here. As the villagers retreating back, we've got another couple of archery ranges coming up for Momo, as the villagers over here might think about trying to sneak over onto this gold mine. The ravens here for Shelty not really being used to their best of their ability. They could be checking out all the gold mines here as they now going up there to figure that one out, as it does look like the Minotaur over here does get spotted, or picked off, I should say. Spotted does get a lot of kills, as two villagers over here are going to be going down as well. But here's the thing, Shelty, he's got rhinos over here. He's about to finish up on that. He's got the giraffe in the middle of the map still available to himself, and he's going to be able to get to the heroic age very, very quickly behind all of this, as the dwarves moving on to this gold mine, leaving this back gold mine here as well. I like that play. I mean, obviously he was there already with the ox cart, so it makes sense, but just deciding to leave that gold mine there for a little bit later and move back there, not a bad idea in the slightest here, as Momo is getting some more units produced into this archery range. But unfortunately, the Valkyrie is here. The throwing axemen are here. A couple of hoplites do pop out onto this location. The Toxotes is coming through, and Shelty decides in that moment, it's town center season. Let's grab that forward town center. That's going to be huge. We do see the Toxotes over here trying to take down some raiding cavalry, but the raiding cavalry just do too much damage against them, as the hoplite's going to be swinging around through onto this location. But Momo decides in that moment he is too far behind. His assessment is correct. He's got no gold left in this game, and he decides, all right, you've done me in this one. 1-1 here. 1 win apiece as Shelty now on the scoreboard. An insanely good game here from Shelty. He played it so perfectly. I love the play, sneaking the villagers forward here onto this wood line here, grabbing this gold mine, not allowing Momo anywhere, going for the raids, pulling back, taking the hunt afterwards. This is just textbook Odin, and he just played it to a T here. If you guys enjoyed this one, please consider hitting the follow on Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.